So it's been a while. I have a background change. I've moved. So I can't say that's why I didn't do a July wrap up, but it is what it is. Although I'm glad I didn't do a July wrap up because I only read 2 books in August. So this is my what I read in the last 2 months. This right here is one of my newest loves of my life. I actually read this on Kindle, but I loved it so much I got the physical copy. I got it because I was going through the Kindle Unlimited library, I guess, and I saw it and I thought it was a standalone, which happens a lot to me, that I think books are standalones and they're not. And I downloaded it, I read it, and then I saw other people reading it, like Destiny and Sarah and Haley Pham and all these other YouTubers. So very happy. It's just so beautiful. So at times it felt poetic. The whole faded soulmates aspect of this book really got to me. Again, as I said, at times it felt very poetic, especially when they were exchanging letters before Iris knew that Rowan was the person on the other side of the letters. I don't think that's a spoiler. Hello, workplace rivals to lovers, because that's how it starts. Workplace rivals. I just, anything where they hate each other and then they find love, I love. The friends that Iris makes along the way, Marisol, why did I say Marisol like that? Marisol and Addie are just so beautiful, so beautiful relationships that she develops with these people. I'm not a veteran, if you will, with fantasy. I guess this is more of a romantasy, but I really enjoyed the mythology aspect of it. When they're describing the gods, that's really interesting to me. It's something that I do find interesting. I'm reading my notes. It says, one of the notes says, the invisible string wink that ties Roman and Iris together. So one of my favorite things to do now is find a Spotify playlist about or inspired by the book that I'm reading, and I think Invisible String by Taylor Swift was one of the books on the playlist, the particular playlist that I was listening to, and it's just so perfect for the book. And the ending, if you read this book, you know I need the second book instantly, because I have a lot of feelings that I can't discuss because I don't want to spoil it too much. But if you read it, I know I have beef with one of the characters that I will not get into right now. But I would, if I find that person on the street, right hook immediately. After Divine Rivals, I read In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros. It was one of those Prime things where you got it for free, so I got it. I liked the initial idea of the book, the initial plot line of how they meet. When I read the synopsis, essentially they meet on a plane. They're sitting next to each other. Plane crashes, and then they skip a few years. It's a time jump on how they meet again, however many years later. The war aspect I didn't really enjoy, not because it's a war, because Divine Rivals has a war, but the fact that it's a real war. How many times did I say war? It's a real event that affected a lot of people. I don't know, it sat weirdly with me and made me a little bit uncomfortable. The romance aspect of it, I really did enjoy. And I really liked Rebecca's writing. So now I really want to read The Fourth Wing. I have not purchased because I have a really long list of books to read. So I'm trying to control myself, but I really do want to read it. The plot twist of In the Likely Event at the end, some people, I'm not good at kind of like figuring things out. Like, I don't, like, I might have an inkling, but it's not my life goal to figure out the plot twist. And the plot twist on this book took me by surprise. Next up, I read Real Easy by, oh lord, this last name, Marie Rakowski. So Samantha is a stripper in 1999. She gives her coworker a ride home. It says here her decision turns deadly. So this book is the investigation around her disappearance / murder. I saw this twice at the bookstop before I got it. What really called me to this book was it was set in 1999, the mystery thriller aspect of it, and the fact that they were strippers. I thought that was really interesting. And for the most part, I did enjoy it. I didn't like the fact that there's, in my opinion, too many point of views. Honestly, a lot of them I could have done without. I understand that they kind of want to carry the story, or the author wanted to carry the story and kind of show how the investigation is going. But after a certain point, maybe take a point of view out. Maybe take it out. In that same sense, she went in a lot of tangents per point of view. I don't know, like, it wasn't necessary, in my opinion, to carry along the story. So that kind of got really boring to me. Overall, it was a good book. I don't know what I rated it, but I did enjoy it aside from those facts. Also, I would often forget it was set in the 90s until they say things like, I have to go to whatever and call this person. So I was like, oh yeah, they don't have phones. It was good. It wasn't my favorite, but it was good. After Real Easy, or as I read Real Easy, I read Behind the Net by, I don't know who wrote this. Hold on. Yes, Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. It's a hokey. Why? This is a hockey romance. It's not second chance, but I guess they knew each other on their childhood and then they meet again as adults. She becomes his assistant. And typical romance story. Obviously they fall in love and whatnot. It's one of those stories, I really do enjoy that type of romance book to kind of cleanse myself after certain reads. So I did enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's a good read to kind of pass the time. Then I read Love Hypothesis. I've had this book in my possession for like 3 years. Yes, like 3 years, and I had not read it. I have this thing where if a book is very popular, I find it very, very hard to read it. Not because I feel like I'm better than anyone, but because it gets so hyped that I don't know, I feel kind of not misguided, but I have like a prejudgment already in my mind. So it's kind of weird to read a book that so many people love, because I feel like I have to love it. I did love this book, I will admit. One of my things with this book is that I knew that it was inspired by Reylo fanfic. Kylo Ren and, is it Reylo? What is it? I don't know the names of these characters. But a Star Wars fanfic by with Adam Driver and whoever is the other character. I'm trying to let go of this, but I can't. It's Rilo, not Reylo. Or is it Reylo? Anyways. So one of the things that kind of always deterred me from reading this book is that I knew that it was a Rilo fanfic or inspired by Rilo and then published, whatever the gist of that is. At times, for the most part, I would forget as I was reading it, but then I would remember and that would put me off. Controversial maybe, but I don't find Adam Driver attractive. So whenever I would remember that he is the main character of that ship, one of the two characters of that ship, it would kind of throw me off. So I did enjoy the banter between Adam and Olive. It was really entertaining. Her friends were really funny, and his friends, his best friend, whose name I can't remember, he was also very funny. I don't know, I really enjoy, I think good friends on a romance are very important because they can make or break the story, and they were very funny and I really enjoy them. And I really like the science aspect of the book, which is surprising, so I'm not very into STEM because I'm dumb. Finally, during July, I read Out on a Limb. And I downloaded this one because I saw a lot of the YouTubers, booktubers talking about it. And they got me, as soon as you mentioned no third act breakup, you got me. I will download the book and I will read it. And that's what got me to download this book. And then it surprised me. It was so good. So like heartwarming. They're so in love with each other. I mean, as the story progresses, obviously. It's accidental pregnancy. It's not something that bothers me. It's something that bothers a lot of people. I find it fun, honestly. Like, yes, show me the girl telling the man that she's pregnant after a one-night stand. I eat it up. Bo, honestly, I loved him. He was such a simp for Win, and he folded so fast. And I folded for that man as fast. I loved him every single minute of it. He cared so much for her. He was very attentive of how she felt, of how she was doing during her pregnancy, not just because she is the future mother of his child, but because he's just a good person. The relationship between Sarah and Win, Sarah is Win's best friend, is so wholesome. Again, I'm so like soft for friends, and Sarah and Win are just so cute. Great friendship. It's like a sisterhood more so than a friendship. And then Sarah and Caleb, which are Win's best friends, Sarah and Caleb are married. So funny. I love them. Funny characters are so important, and I love them. They were hilarious, and I want to reread this again because it was so good. Definitely recommend if you're looking for a really nice, really cute, wholesome little romance story. One of the 2 books that I read in August was Whiskey Business by Elliot Fletcher. It makes me laugh every time I say whiskey because, you know, it's like risky, but anyways. It was a nice little romance to kind of pass the time. Main character whose name I cannot remember, I'm so sorry. He really annoyed me because he judged her so fast. So essentially, main character is, she's an actress that she's an actress. Her grandfather dies. She moves back to her little village in Scotland to take over the distillery that her grandfather owned. And there she meets the guy, I can't remember their names. She meets him there. She knows him from childhood, and he kind of has taken over the distillery. He helped her granddad run it. And he's like really bitter that her grandpa left her the distillery and the house because he wanted to own it. So he's very judgmental when she first gets there and doesn't really give her a chance until a lot later to explain how she feels and why she wasn't there for the funeral, etc., etc. But it was still cute. I still did enjoy it. I don't know what I rated it. Maybe a 3. And then finally, I read Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I'm slowly making my way through Harry Potter. I don't know if I talked about this on the last video. I would like to point out that these books I got secondhand through eBay. Just putting that out there. Obviously, there's always a difference between a book and a movie. I grew up with the movies. I wasn't a huge reader when the books came out, so I grew up with the movies. So what I know of the Harry Potter story is what I had watched as a young adult. I'm slowly reading the book, so I'm getting more of the story. And the difference between Goblet of Fire, the book, and the movie, it's from Del Cielo a la Tierra. It's so stark. It's so heavy, the difference through the tasks, how they call the names, the reactions, everything is the different is so huge. Honestly, it kind of took me by surprise, especially the whole the Bobatons and the Dormstrang. I don't know how to pronounce things. The fact that they were both co-ed schools, and in the movies they're portrayed, the Bobatons as just an all-female school and the Durmstrang as an all-male school, baffling. Ron was so insufferable in this book. I feel like he's a little insufferable in all books, but in this book specifically, I wanted to reach through the book and smack him. He was so annoying. Man, you gotta pull it together, okay? Like, your friend who is what, 14 just has to compete on this thing that where he could die. He's telling you, your friend that you've known, that you've been through all these traumatic experiences with, is telling you, I did not put my name in the Goblet of Fire, and you do not believe him until like after the first task. Are you kidding me, boy? Also, Hermione, they're both so horrible towards Hermione. I get it. She can be a little annoying. We all can be. But they're so mean to her, and it really breaks my heart because she doesn't deserve it. She deserves better friends. Like, girl. The written accents throughout the book really annoyed me. I get it. You're trying to portray that the Bobatons are French and the Dormstrang are Bulgarian. You don't have to point it out in every sentence with an accent that you do not take all the way. It's just in certain words. It really got to me. It really did. Oh, also, this is a theme through all of the books. But Snape, why are you beefing with the child? Why are you, as an adult, a grown-ass adult, are beefing with the 14-year-old? I can't. But yes, that's all I've read. That's all I read in July and August. We'll see how September goes. Have I read anything? Oh yeah, I read 2. I'm working on 2 more. One I have halfway through. The other one I just started. So let's see. I might do a little read with me vlog. What I read in a week. I don't know. One of those. But yeah, I'm very excited to do more videos. And I will see you